Good evening and welcome to Crossfire Opinions, the program where we delve into today's most pressing and often contentious issues. Tonight, we tackle a profoundly significant question that resonates globally. Should healthcare be universal and free for everyone? This topic touches the very core of our societal values, raising complex ethical, economic, and practical considerations that demand thorough examination. Here to debate this are Dr. Elena Petrova, a distinguished public health advocate and staunch proponent of universal free healthcare, and Mr. Samuel Chen, a respected economist, who will present arguments for alternative, market-informed approaches. We'll begin with their comprehensive opening statements, followed by direct rebuttals and a moderated discussion, concluding with their final remarks to summarize their positions.
Thank you, David. It is my unwavering conviction that access to comprehensive health care is not a mere commodity to be bought and sold on the open market, but a fundamental human right, utterly indispensable for a dignified and secure life. To deny necessary medical care based on an individual's financial capacity or social standing is, in my view, a profound ethical failing for any compassionate and developed society. Universal and free healthcare ensures that every single person, regardless of their socioeconomic status, their employment, or their background, has the genuine opportunity to receive timely and appropriate medical attention. This principle isn't just about treating illness when it strikes. It's about proactively fostering a healthier, more resilient populace. When citizens have unhindered access to regular checkups and crucial preventative care, we witness a significant, demonstrable reduction in the incidence and severity of chronic diseases, leading to an overall improvement in public health outcomes across the board. This in turn translates directly into increased economic productivity, as healthier individuals are more consistently able to contribute to the workforce, innovate, and participate fully in society. Furthermore, universal systems are powerful tools to drastically reduce the glaring health inequalities that currently plague many nations, creating a fairer and more just social fabric. We have numerous inspiring examples of countries with successful, long-standing universal healthcare systems, such as Canada, the United Kingdom's National Health Service, and several Nordic countries, all demonstrating that this model is not only achievable, but also highly beneficial for national well-being. They prove that prioritizing citizens' health over profit motives in healthcare ultimately leads to a more just, equitable, and flourishing society. It represents a vital investment in our collective present and future.
Thank you, David. While the aspiration for universal health coverage is indeed a laudable goal, one that I personally share, the specific proposition of, quote, universal and entirely free healthcare presents substantial economic and practical challenges that simply cannot be ignored or wished away. Implementing such an all-encompassing system typically necessitates a significant and often politically contentious increase in the overall tax burden, placing considerable strain on working families, businesses, and potentially stifling broader economic growth and investment. Moreover, historical and international experience suggests that large, monolithic government-run healthcare systems can often grapple with inherent inefficiencies, cumbersome bureaucratic hurdles, and a discernible lack of responsiveness to evolving patient needs and preferences. We must also carefully consider the potential adverse impact on the quality of care and the pace of medical innovation within the healthcare sector. When services are entirely free at the point of use and subject to centralized control and budgeting, we frequently observe the emergence of longer waiting times for non-emergency procedures, restricted patient choice regarding specialists or specific advanced treatments, and potentially reduced incentives for cutting-edge research and development if pharmaceutical companies and medical device manufacturers see diminished returns. I also firmly believe there's an important element of individual responsibility concerning health choices and lifestyle management, their risks being somewhat diluted or overlooked in a completely free system. Perhaps a more pragmatic and ultimately sustainable path lies in achieving universal coverage through carefully designed mixed systems, incorporating elements like regulated private insurance, income-based subsidies, health savings accounts, and a robust, well-funded safety net for the most vulnerable, rather than opting for a monolithic, entirely state-funded and state-controlled model.
Mr. Chen raises points about economic sustainability and potential inefficiencies, which are common counter-arguments, but these concerns are often significantly overstated or can be effectively managed with thoughtful policy design. Collective funding through a fair, progressive, and broad-based taxation system is not an insurmountable burden. Rather, it should be viewed as a strategic shared investment, with substantial, well-documented long-term returns in societal well-being and economic vitality. The profound economic benefits of a healthier population, including reduced rates of absenteeism from work and school, markedly increased productivity across all sectors, and substantially lower long-term healthcare expenditures due to the emphasis on preventative care, far outweigh the initial public outlay. Furthermore, single-payer or predominantly publicly funded systems can generate significant administrative savings by eliminating the costly complexities, marketing expenses, and profit-driven overhead associated with a fragmented landscape of multiple private insurers. Regarding issues of quality and wait times, these are primarily challenges of adequate and consistent funding, strategic resource allocation, and efficient system management, not inherent, unavoidable flaws of universal healthcare models. Indeed, many countries with universal healthcare consistently rank very high in international comparisons of health outcomes and quality metrics. Crucially, innovation can be robustly fostered through direct public investment in research, academic partnerships, and other non-market incentives, rather than relying solely on market competition that can unfortunately prioritize shareholder profit over pressing patient needs or public health priorities. The undeniable, ethical imperative to provide comprehensive care to all citizens must remain our steadfast guiding principle, and any practical challenges encountered should be met with innovative, pragmatic solutions, not by retreating from this fundamental commitment to human dignity and health equity.
Dr. Petrova speaks eloquently and passionately about the ethical imperative, and her commitment is clear. However, I must respectfully question the expansive interpretation of a right to health care as an absolute entitlement to any and all conceivable medical services completely free of charge at the point of delivery for an indefinite period without any consideration of scarcity or resource limitations. Rights, in a practical societal context, often come with corresponding responsibilities and must be balanced against the finite nature of societal resources and competing public priorities. While proponents frequently point to so-called successful models in other countries, it is absolutely crucial to examine these systems with a critical and nuanced eye. Many of these lauded international systems, upon closer inspection, incorporate significant co-payments for certain services, maintain parallel private healthcare options that cater to those who can afford them, and often alleviate pressure on the public system, and still openly grapple with their own distinct challenges related to funding pressures, timely access to specialized care, and navigating bureaucratic complexities. They are rarely free in the absolute, utopian sense often portrayed, and typically involve a delicate and evolving balance of public funding, private provision, and individual contributions. My primary and persistent concern remains that a purely state-controlled, free at the point of service system, if not carefully structured, inevitably leads to some form of rationing, whether explicit or implicit through wait times, significantly limits patient choice in meaningful ways, and risks creating a cumbersome, inflexible bureaucracy that is inherently slow to adapt to individual patient needs, diverse preferences, and rapid medical advancements. We must ensure that in our commendable striving for universality, we don't inadvertently compromise the very quality, responsiveness, and innovation that patients rightly expect and deserve from their healthcare services.
Dr. Petrova, Mr. Chen has underscored the potential for a substantial tax burden. Could you elaborate specifically on how a universal free healthcare system can be funded sustainably in the long term without unduly overburdening the national economy or inadvertently stifling crucial economic growth?
Sustainable funding is certainly achievable through a multifaceted and equitable approach. Progressive taxation, where contributions are directly proportionate to income and wealth, forms the bedrock. Crucially, a significant upfront investment in comprehensive preventative care and public health initiatives drastically cuts long-term treatment costs for expensive chronic conditions like diabetes or heart disease. Streamlining administration within a single-payer framework eliminates enormous bureaucratic waste and the profit margins of private insurers. Moreover, a healthier, more secure workforce is demonstrably more productive, innovative, and engaged, thereby boosting overall economic output. It's not merely an expense, but a strategic societal investment that yields substantial economic and social dividends, ensuring its long-term viability.
Mr. Chen, if healthcare isn't established as fully free at the point of service, how do you propose to concretely ensure that no individual is ever denied essential, life-sustaining care due to an inability to pay? And how would your preferred model specifically address and ameliorate existing health disparities among different population groups?
Guaranteed access to essential care for everyone is non-negotiable. This can be effectively achieved through a robust, well-funded social safety net. This includes mechanisms like means-tested government subsidies or vouchers for low-income individuals and families to purchase quality private insurance in a regulated marketplace, or alternatively, directly state-funded community clinics providing comprehensive primary and urgent care for the most vulnerable populations. Health disparities can be systematically addressed by implementing targeted public health programs, focusing on historically underserved communities, promoting enhanced health literacy, and ensuring truly equitable access to these subsidized insurance options or direct care facilities. The key is targeted, intelligent support, not necessarily a monolithic one-size-fits-all free system for every conceivable service.
Dr. Petrova, persistent concerns about potentially long wait times for elective procedures and somewhat reduced patient choice in publicly managed universal systems are frequently voiced. How can these potential drawbacks be effectively mitigated to ensure both timely access to necessary treatments and genuine patient satisfaction?
Wait times, when they occur, are primarily a function of resource allocation, capacity planning, and system management efficiency, rather than an inherent, unavoidable flaw of universal healthcare itself. Sustained and adequate public investment in modern medical infrastructure, the training and retention of skilled medical personnel, and the implementation of intelligent, data-driven scheduling systems can significantly reduce them. Regarding patient choice, well-designed universal systems can, and often do, offer considerable choice of primary care physicians and, within established clinical pathways, access to a range of specialists. The fundamental focus is ensuring everyone has access to high-quality, necessary care without financial barriers, which I believe is a more critical and empowering form of choice than, for example, selecting a luxury hospital room or a boutique specialist for minor ailments.
Mr. Chen, if a nation relies more heavily on mixed public-private options for healthcare delivery and financing, how can it effectively prevent the emergence or further exacerbation of a pronounced two-tier system, where the affluent consistently receive superior or faster care, thereby deepening societal inequality?
Preventing a starkly divided two-tier system requires robust and vigilant government regulation and oversight. The publicly funded or subsidized tier must be mandated to guarantee comprehensive, high-quality services for every citizen, thereby setting a consistently high minimum standard of care that all can rely on. Private options can then exist to cater to those who desire additional amenities, faster access to purely elective procedures, or services not covered by the public basket, but they must not be allowed to undermine the quality, accessibility, or resource base of the core public system. Clear, enforceable regulations, coupled with continuous monitoring and transparency, are absolutely crucial to ensure the private sector complements, rather than supplant or depletes, equitable public provision of essential health care.
In summarizing my position, I reassert with firm conviction that healthcare is a fundamental human right. not a commodity or a privilege reserved for those with financial means. Universal and free access to comprehensive medical care is a vital investment in our society's collective well-being, demonstrably leading to improved public health outcomes, greater economic productivity through a healthier workforce, and the creation of a more equitable and just nation. The perceived economic hurdles, while requiring careful planning, are entirely manageable through fair and progressive funding mechanisms, coupled with the significant long-term savings generated by a proactive focus on preventative care and early intervention. Imagine a society where no individual, no family, ever fears financial ruin or destitution simply because of an unexpected illness or accident. A society where every person has the profound peace of mind that comes with knowing high-quality care is readily available when they need it most. This humane and aspirational vision is entirely achievable if we collectively embrace the principles of solidarity, shared responsibility, and the common good. Let us therefore choose a path that unequivocally prioritizes compassion, human dignity, and the health of all our citizens above all else.
Throughout this important and engaging discussion, my consistent focus has been on the critical imperatives of ensuring long-term economic sustainability, operational efficiency, consistently high quality of care, and meaningful patient choice within any proposed healthcare system. While we all undoubtedly share the commendable goal of ensuring universal access to necessary medical care for every citizen, it is in the specific methodology for achieving this complex objective that our perspectives diverge. A universal and entirely free model, while undeniably noble in its intent and appealing in its simplicity, carries, in my assessment, significant inherent risks to our national economy, a strong potential for bureaucratic inefficiency and unresponsiveness, and tangible limitations on individual autonomy, patient choice, and the dynamic incentives that drive medical innovation. Consequently, I advocate for pragmatic, evidence-based, and balanced solutions, achieving universal coverage through a carefully regulated mixed system incorporating public and private elements, providing targeted financial and social support for vulnerable populations, fostering healthy competition where appropriate to drive quality and efficiency, and actively promoting individual responsibility for preventative health and wellness through education and supportive public policy. This multifaceted approach, I believe, can achieve broad and equitable access without compromising the essential pillars of a dynamic, innovative, and high-performing healthcare sector that serves all citizens well.
Thank you most sincerely, Dr. Petrova and Mr. Chen, for this exceptionally insightful, thorough, and spirited debate on such a critical and multifaceted issue that impacts every one of us. We've heard deeply considered and compelling arguments from both sides. Dr. Petrova passionately emphasizing healthcare as an inalienable human right, achievable through collective societal effort and investment, and Mr. Chen thoughtfully highlighting concerns about economic viability and advocating for balanced, mixed-system approaches that preserve choice and foster innovation. We sincerely hope this comprehensive discussion has provided our audience with valuable perspectives to reflect upon as they form their own informed opinions. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on Crossfire Opinions.